Okay, I've started the recording. Uh, so about Hadoop or first the big data. Um, so why it has come into picture? Anyone wants to say before I start the class? Or anyone wants to share your knowledge about this? Why big data has come into picture? What it is going to do with the data? Just started talking. Please do talk. You can discuss, right? Or type in the chat box. So, okay, it is like a word or a boom word everywhere. It is like big data, and everyone knows that the data is so huge nowadays. It's everywhere. The data is coming into picture. Anything you take, it is a data. Everything is connected with the internet, so data is shared everywhere. So when you talk about earlier days, so there were not much data. Not many people have a internet. Okay, so that time, okay, it's there in the huge volume of the data since data more complex and so. Okay, earlier days there were not many data shared, right? Many people doesn't have an internet at all, but now internet is it is compulsory. So data sharing is also so compulsory. If anywhere is this data generated, if you talk about WhatsApp, or if you take any social media, or if you take any sensor information which it is collecting, anything, the camera sensors, all are stored as a data only. Either it is stored locally to our uh, mobile, or if it is a machine, it is stored in the machine, or if it is transferred over the internet. Okay, social media itself is providing a huge amount of data. A single text which we type like a hello hi itself is as data. It is actually stored in the server. Okay, see, before and all, it is like we save everything in the files. Okay, files will be like a data to us, but now we cannot store and process through the files. So when the data is started getting huge, and there were an idea like what do we do with the data? Okay, so can we get some useful information from the data? How we can get an useful information? Only through analyzing the complete information which is generated. That is where that big data, or the analysis, a data analysis or the data science as a coming to picture. What do we do with this so huge amount of data? It is increasing so much. So when I say that what do we use, you can think of some situations are like say, okay, I can give you an example, kind of you might have read somewhere across also. So the supermarket Walmart is there. It is spreaded all over the world. Okay, it is very famous in America, right? Okay, so if you can think that a person going to the supermarket, he is going to purchase something, like he is going to purchase a bread, or yeah, he wants to buy a bread. Okay, he is walking through the supermarket. You know how the supermarket products will be arranged, right? uh, did I tell this example before? I'm not sure. Okay, anyway, I'll say this, how the products will be arranged. So he goes to the bread. Initially, how they would have arranged it, bread will be somewhere, and butter will be somewhere, and maybe the jam or whatever the peanut butter or whatever they use it along with the bread can be spreaded across. Because earlier they may not know, like the person who is coming to the supermarket, who is purchasing bread, may be looking for the butter also, and he also may look for the jam or whatever, the peanut butter or whatever he wanted of his interest, whichever related that can be used along with the bread. He might be searching in different places and getting the product, and he is purchasing and going. So this kind of analysis that they would have done. Okay, if 100 people are coming to the supermarket, Walmart supermarket, out of 100, 60 percentage or 70 percentage are people, whenever they buy a bread, they buy a butter also, they buy any peanut butter also. So why don't we keep those two together. Then in that case, in such a way, some may be searching for the butter, right? But if they don't find it, they will not buy it at all. Or it is a kind of inducing their interest. Okay, bread is there, we see any of the different varieties that can go with the bread, okay, that we will purchase if it is nearby. So how all this has done, this analysis purpose has done, it is by the historical data, right? They have collected some sample information from 100 customers, and they have seen that more than 70% their purchasing pattern is like this, like they go for one product and they go for the other product. If it is that way, then they will keep that products together, so that the increase of those purchasing those products will be more, the revenue will be more. So business decision is taken based on the analysis of the data. This is how it is done, it is done based on the analysis of the data. Likewise, if you see in the supermarket itself, the essential products, will be kept in the end of the store, it will not be in the front places, right? Front places where, which will contain those products which people won't buy normally. So they want them to walk through the product, walk through the market, so that they will have an eye on all the different products. Some obviously will be interested and buy it. This way they will increase the what a revenue for the supermarket. So that is what the decision has come. So we have so much of data. What do we do with that data? So we can arrive at a business solution. Okay, so we can find some certain patterns likewise, and we can arrive at a business solution. That's how this how do we do that? That is what the technology has come into picture, where we can apply our analysis and find the data. Okay, one more use case I can talk about is, see, uh, if you are doing some Google search, any search nowadays, whichever you are doing it, it will list out whatever is your interest. Okay, earlier it will not be like that. You have to use some plus symbol we use, no, that concatenate symbol plus and all. We give the proper keywords, then only we get the proper result. I don't know whether you people come across that. Nowadays it is like sometimes we will be surprised that whatever we thinking, we are now used to it also, like whatever we think, we type on that and it pops up. Like we don't have to type also, we just select that and click on, all the results of that would have come. How this is all happening? It has all happened because not only us searching the same amount of same kind of information, the people who are searching like a Hadoop class, it will come like tutorials and all, right? Hadoop classes or big data classes. There were so many people who are searching for that, and that data is analyzed and it is giving the result. Even the ad pop-ups, or if you view the Facebook, right? Like the videos which Facebook or the YouTube, if you keep seeing few videos again and again, few type of videos, few kind of videos, or if it is movie or comedy clips, right, likewise, then it will next time when you open YouTube itself, it will come, those kind of videos only will uh, pop up in the front. It is because of the data which it is storing our data, like how we are doing the search, and it is internally doing all this AI algorithms which we are learning, right? It is applying to that and bringing us the result. Similar many use cases are there, like a not Twitter, like Netflix, where it will give you the top 10 list and or the movies of your interest. It is a kind of a recommendation system. Whatever we want, we were searching, it will take that data as an information and give us the result. Okay, this is how that analysis on the data is, which is very huge, came into picture. So big data is nothing but a very huge volume of data. Okay, so we will move on further in this slide. So, what is a big data? It is a huge volume, not very less. It is a very huge volume. A very huge volume in the sense you can think that. So, Google is the one who is processing a very large amount of data when compared to any other companies. Okay, they will be processing like the world's complete amount of a data itself. Okay, that is, so from a single person itself for a minute, how much data a single person, even us, right, how much chat communication we are doing it. Okay, and how many pictures we are posting it, how many Instagram posts we do it. So if we take about a single person itself, himself or herself, it is huge data. Likewise, the Google itself handles the complete data of the world. Likewise, so huge, millions and millions of data are present. So that kind of a data we call it as a big data. Okay, it is not an industry, it is a huge amount of a data. So what is the interruption, we will go on this or slides. Okay, and okay, so what is a big data? It is like a collection of a large amount of data sets, which is difficult to process using the on-hand technology. So actually, traditionally, we are seeing databases, right? Databases are also storing a huge amount of data, so we can see it. It will also have a rows and a tabular stores the data in the tabular formats, which is huge volume. But processing the traditional data types, traditional means the RDBMS and other things, are not easier. Why it is not easier is the old data, say big data not only talks about the current data, it also takes the data previously. By that is how they can arrive at any business solutions, right? You cannot take only the press history of a data, it is a taking, right? Complete history it will have. So when you talk about the traditional database, those old data will be like archived state. Okay, archived means it will be stored in some server, single server. It will not be distributed a server. Distributed means many machines will not store the data. Only one server will be storing the data. And once it is archived, whenever you wanted to process that data, you have to bring the data to live. Okay, whereas big data works on the live data itself. Live data is, you can think of the data which is coming from the social media, or the data sensors which are capturing the, say, traffic. You have this cameras no everywhere, so those will have the sensors, those are capturing the informations only. So those are all live data. Okay, so whereas the traditional data, whenever you have to process those, you have to bring those data into a particular server, which will be archived at regular intervals. Archived means stored separately, it will not be live. Okay, instance data, those should be taken out, uh, to be considered for, I mean, to be processed. Okay, business logic has to be written to be processed, and then again a solution has to be, business solution has to be arrived from that. Whereas the solution, that is not feasible, no, when the amount of data is increasing, that is not a feasible solution. Like, you cannot bring the data for uh, computing and you cannot archive it again. That is not a feasible solution at all. That's why this big data technology has come into picture. Wherever the data is a huge, and it is very difficult to processing, that can be done using the big data technology. One of the technologies which we use for processing huge is the Hadoop, that we will see it later on. It is like a buzzword or a catchphrase used to describe the massive volume, and the type of the data also matters. We know, like, in traditionally RDBMS and all, the data is structured in the way we can say that it is stored. You can define the data, like we can create a table for a for the data, like rows and columns, and you can store the data. Unstructured data means it will not have any structure at all. Okay, it will not be like all the time defined. Okay, I can show a log file. Think I've come across that. The log file will have an unstructured data, like video files, music files all together, we can call it as an unstructured data. So this kind of a data we can easily handle using the big data technology. Okay, that is so large and that is difficult to process using traditional databases and software techniques. So in order to work on or find some useful information, or dig into to find some useful information, then you can go for the big data technologies. So when the data is a massive volume, unstructured data are not possible to process using the traditional technologies, you use the big data technology. Okay, so each of the companies like McKinsey and Froster Research and Great Grantner, they have given their own definition for the big data, so that you can go through it. Okay, so presently, when you say what is big in big data, so Cisco and all has estimated. See, big data will be okay. This slide I will talk about. See, the data volume has increased starting from the kilobytes, okay, and to the megabytes, and later on now it is in the zettabytes. Presently it is the huge volume of data. The data, how we can represent it in the computer language is a 1,000 kilobytes, megabytes, right? So nowadays it is in the form of generated in the form of zettabytes, which is at 1,000 power 7. Okay, that is what a zettabyte is. That's what here they have given. um, so this is a little latest information about it. The Cisco has estimated, okay, 1 zettabyte of annual internet traffic is moving on, is uploaded or shared in the World Wide Web. Okay, most of them are file sharing datas, and the storage capacity is 1,000 per 7, means it will take this much of bytes. Okay, they have also estimated, this is in 2016, so till 2025 they are estimating that around 150 to 200 zettabytes of data shall be generated through the internet. Okay, so this you can imagine, right? Like 10 200 into 1000 power 7, how much huge it will be. Okay, so they are given a small analogy of like a gram of a DNA can store 700 terabytes of a data. Okay, so if you wanted to store this much amount of a data like a 200 zettabytes, then we need to have something like 1500 kg of a DNA. So this you can go through it. You can also find out like how data is so big. You can Google to that. Okay, the largest hard drive, right, which is developed now, is only has a 15 terabytes. Okay, or the storage device can reach up to 100 terabytes of data only you can store it. So zettabytes, how we can store it in a single server, you cannot store it at all. This is the hard drive which is present in a single machine. Okay, that can store at least between 15 to 100 terabytes, but 200 it has the data volume which has increased to around 200 zettabytes, that cannot be stored in a server itself. So for that we need a distributed architecture. Distributed means the data you can divide it and store in different machines, okay, and do the processing likewise. So, what is a big data? That it refers to a data set which is too large or too complex for ordinary computing devices to process. So, everything there were five V's. Okay, whichever five V's we whichever the data which suffice all this five V's. Actually, five V's are there. It is only four. That way they will call it as a big data. Okay. Before that, we will see this. Okay, these are little old information because they are talking in petabytes only. Okay, Google, YouTube has developed, is generating 1,000 Google is generating 1,000 petabytes of data, but these are little older information. You can think everything in terms of zettabytes now. Okay. And in last 2 years, till 2014, information only is there in this slide. So how is this data generated? Data is generated everywhere from the social media, okay, with the and also the user tracking systems like a sensors, and also the stock markets. They generate a huge amount of live data, right? Stock markets and customer support and customer segmentation. Like in security also, they will generate a large amount of data. E-commerce, whatever the transaction we do through e-commerce, that online payment and all, it is a data. And stock market, that I have told. And the real time search. Okay. And the input and the data which we enter also will be stored from the in the Facebook, in Google, in Twitter, and all those things. Okay, there is a large data this is a lot of data with which in whichever areas it is getting generated, that they have listed out here. Like social media, commercials. Okay. And public sectors, and weather reports, population. Okay, as the population increase, data also increases. Credits, emails which we send. Okay, transactions, yeah, single transaction, monitoring, sensors, all those things generate huge amount of data. Okay, just a moment. Okay, I'm back. Okay. So actually, what are the key features of a big data? The big data, any data which you can call it as big data, will suffice all these things. Okay. In case of it is zettabytes, it is a zettabytes now recently. Okay. In case of a volume, it is incredibly large amount of data. Okay. So if any data which is so huge, any data which is there for processing, or which is coming into live data which is coming for processing, if it is so huge, then we can say that is as a big data. Okay. That kind of a data, the large amount of data, can using that you can do the some batch processing or real time. You can analyze the real time streaming of a data. Okay, this large amount of data can also be generated by the, as I told, like social medias, or like online transactions. And also nowadays it is internet of things. Okay. And using the sensors and the camera captures and servers which we are storing. So that is, see, what do we do with the data? That's what it is coming. It is huge amount of data. What do? We analyze the data, we process the data, and we arrive at a business solutions. Business solution in the sense, say for example, as I told before, like you are keep on, see, when you are searching for something in the YouTube, and if it is listing everything according to your search, then you get more interested, right? You will get you will get more knowledge reading or going through many videos. So that is the business solution they arrive at. Based on your data or your history of a search, they are coming at arriving at a business solution. That is what the purpose of doing using the uh, analysis. So that analysis actually done by the Hadoop ecosystem. But first we will understand what is a big data is. And big data which is also sufficing the velocity in the sense, so the speed of the data, the speed, if you think, the speed from the sensors or speed from the social medias are very high. The throughput actually, see, one example I can say, like they do testings, right? In that like if it is an automobile industries, if they are going to nowadays automatic automobile, vehicles, they are testing, right? For that they have to capture the pattern, like how a driver, they keep sensors on the highways, and they will capture the pattern how the drivers are driving the vehicle, where they put the brakes, uh, and all those information is the uh, huge amount of data. And also the each data which is which you are capturing is the velocity, the speed of the data. So another example I can say it as the social media. Social media means the WhatsApp which you are using, like each person is sending so many informations to from one person to another person. So the velocity, if the velocity is also very high, if the speed of the information which you are getting is also high, then also those data we can call it as a big data. Okay, big data involves a live processing in the sense that data is coming in a live stream. Okay, it is not like only captured data or archived data or stored data. Okay, like a live streaming the news or the social media information, that also you can take it, process it at the uh, s- mm, at the time it is reaching to your server, and you can give the results likewise. Okay, and the variety of data is, it will not be like a structured data like our tables. It can be of any types, like a semi-structured or unstructured data. Okay, so some examples, if you say like a semi-structured, unstructured means like video streams or binary files or music files, all those are unstructured data. Semi-structured is the file itself will be half structured. So XML files and all will be there. Do you know about XML files? Those files will be like we can say it as a semi structured. No, XML files you can call it as structured itself because they will have tags and properties, whereas semi structured means it will be mix of a structured one and unstructured one. So those files we can say it as a semi structure. Unstructured means there will not be any structure at all. Okay, there will not be any pass like see in any of the files, if you see, there is a full stop, right? One, or if you take a CSV file, if you take a CSV file, after end of each file you can have a delimiter. You can say the end of the file is reached, or each field will be separated by a comma. Okay, comma is a CSV separated file. So you can say this as a structured file. Yeah, unstructured means you can also have a binary, like image files will be there. Okay, where it starts and where it ends, binary images, where it ends you will not be knowing it. And it is also containing of a CSV. A single file itself is containing of CSV, that is structured information and unstructured information both together. Then those things you can call it as a semi-structured semi-structured data. Okay, don't worry, I will show a file like how it will look like. Okay, and the veracity of the data is the quality. This one is quality. Quality, the example, that's what I wanted to give the example of capturing the um, um, driving pattern. Okay, driving pattern of in a highway. Okay, for automating your drive, automating any car. Okay, say for example, there is an automatic car, it drives it drives on its own. Okay, for that you can think of an example of a robo itself, right? Robo, like they will capture so many activities of the human. Okay, and that information, see, some will be useful, some will not be useful. So we will not know, those are all datas only, but we have to process those datas, right? Those will contain unclean data, like which is not recorded for a relevant activity at all. So, and imprecise data, some there will be pass only, there will not be any data at all. Likewise and all those we call it as a veracity of data. So what I mean here is big data, if you say that if it suffice any of this, the volume is huge, and and the data is coming in a high speed, and it is containing a different structures of the data. And if it is also like not cleaned or not in a processable state, those all things we can say, then we can say any data as a big data. Okay, so growing quantity of data, social media, same thing, it is a repetitive whatever I told. Okay, that's what they have given, this a little old. Okay, is it fine till now? JSON file is structured only. JSON file is structured. I tried to take a log file just, but here actually internet is not there. That's why I could not take it. A log file, I can give just a moment. Application, 1 minute. That will have unstructured and unstructured data. Okay. Okay. Till now, any doubts? Okay, I'm not getting it. Okay, I will show it in the next class because I'm not getting it. Application log file. Okay, I will show it. Okay, next class I will show it. Which big data characteristics is the biggest issue for any organization? Is the okay, based on this on the uh, classification of the how a data can be present. So which one will be the challenge for any organization to do will be this one, right? The variety of data. Variety means the structure or semi structure, right? Or everything is mixed together. How you can uh, store the data. Okay, you have to store it as you have to dump the data only completely. You cannot separate it and store it. See, in tables and columns and table, uh, in a table, in a tabular format, we can give rows and columns, right? ID, name, age, everything you can segregate it. But if it is not of that type, then how you can store the data? CSV files, if you open and see, it will be like this only. If it is not structured, or if you cannot store in a table, then processing of such data will be a biggest challenge for anybody. Okay, and that's what they are saying. But when compared to other things, like volume of data will be like only 35 percentage difficulty will be there, whereas velocity also you can handle it. Okay, if you find out that in every 1 hour this much information, or if you can think of the stock market, okay, it keeps changing, right, at the velocity. So that using the stock market changes, they arrive at a solution, no, like how the market will be, likewise prediction and all. So you can think of the velocity, the speed of a stock market for that. Okay, volume, it is again they are talking about the volume. Volume is the scale of the data. Okay, it is estimated in how much 2.5 quintals by or 2.3 trillion gigabytes of data are created each day. Okay, this slide is little old. Okay, this is about 2020. Now you can imagine how much it is. Even you, we can feel it. The data which we are seeing is huge, right? Even our individual people ourselves can see it. It is a huge number. Okay, and this is a zettabytes of a data. Okay, volume is about zettabytes of information are exchanged, or through the internet. It's pass oh, it's all over the internet it is present. Volumes too great for typical DBMS. This cannot be stored in the DBMS at all. See, DBMS means database, it will have only server, single server. They can have multiple servers also, but this architecture, it will not be present in a database. Okay, whereas a distributed means you can have a divide the data and store in multiple servers, so that this huge volume cannot be handled by databases. Okay, and they have given an analogy like the world population is 7 billion at that time, and how much everyone 6 billion people are having the cell phones, then you can imagine how huge volume it will be present. Okay, that's what 40 zettabytes of a data by 2020 they have estimated it. Okay, so this is about this is little old information, I'll skip this. Okay, And velocity is the analyzing of the streaming data. Okay, at what speed your data is coming, and at what you speed you are analyzing and bringing at a getting a solution out of it. Okay, the New York Stock Exchange captures about 1 terabytes of a trade information, and about by 2016, this is also little old. Okay, I'll move on. I have told about what is the velocity, and variety is a different forms of data. Each, if you take out the social media itself, there can be data which is generated in disks format, or YouTube creating, or the Facebook, or Twitter, or WhatsApp, or whatever is it. All the data will be of a different formats. It will not be of same formats. Okay, so variety is massive sets of a structured or unstructured data from the web traffic, social media, sensors, and so on. Okay, even in medical field there are so many, so huge. They do tests, right? They do lab experiments. Okay, using some old historical data, they will do some lab experiments to find how the viruses are. Obviously we know that COVID behaves, how they do it. They collect the samples, or those are all data only, na, from the person who are affected or who is not affected. So how it behaves, all these things is, everything is data, based on the data only, so that's what they say. Okay, so how this data is working in big data. Okay, this is the idea they are following it, which is nothing but they will divide and conquer the data. Okay, so the data, they will have like a master. Okay, okay, before that I wanted to say. Okay, so actually, if any data which is which is to be processed, what they will do it, they will keep it in a different mission. Okay, each mission they will call it as a worker, and part of the data they will put it in each of the servers. We will see this in detail in the next classes. Um, Okay, first of all, I'll say the understanding. Okay, one of the case study is like a Google. Okay, Google is, I told, like it is, they are, but Google were the first person who came into the solution of analyzing the big data. Okay, they were handling so huge volumes of data. As days goes by, the internet is widely used. They don't know how to handle it with the multiple servers, like a single traditional servers, like the databases. They cannot fetch the results, processing from one server to another server and all. Part of the information stored in one server and another server and all. Okay, they have, see, if you are giving one search queries, then data, if it is present in the multiple servers, the thousand queries, not only one query will be passed by a person, right? See, in the world, how many queries they have to process? They have to process maybe millions of queries at a time. Okay, so for that and all, they have given us I mean, they have come up with the solutions, like it is a distributed file system, that is called the GFS actually, Google File System, in which their data, whichever they are storing it, that they will put it in a different servers. Okay, and in each servers, in the sense, you can think of this worker missions. Okay, in each of this, the amount of data will a part of the data will be present, and a processing will be written to process on this each of the individual information. This we will see it later. I thought actually of an introductory only. We will not go into Hadoop. We will see in the next class. Okay, because I wanted you to install the single cluster. Okay, till now it's fine, right? I mean, anything else I have to discuss? Hadoop we will see in the next class after this. What is Hadoop and all? Okay, this is about big data, and I will show you there is an installation. Okay, single cluster installation of Hadoop. I will give you that PPT, show you that. You install it tomorrow, because I will not be there. Then from Monday will discuss complete Hadoop itself. Okay, there are so many are there. Okay. Okay, I will take that PPT. Don't worry, we will see about this on Monday, okay, about Hadoop, but you can start the installation now and keep it. Okay, so Hadoop don't worry about other things, okay, like what is this name node or what is this data node and all. I will discuss this on Monday. Okay, so prerequisite is Java 8 should be there. You have all installed Java 8, so you can check it if Java 8 is there. How do we check it if the Java is present in your Ubuntu? You can check a Java hyphen version. Okay, it will give whatever the version is installed. Don't keep Java 11. Okay, anybody, it will not work for H bases or all. So it is recommended that you have Java 8 only. Java 11. Actually, Ubuntu by default it may have Java 11. Change it to Java 8. It's I couldn't type it here, guys. Java hyphen version you can chat box I could not type it. You can check it. Okay, it should be with that. Then you have to set the environment. Okay, environment variables. Try to do it. Otherwise, I will discuss it on Monday itself. Okay, then you have to do a SSH installation. SSH is not taken, right? SSH is secure. Theory part is done, right? SSH. Yes, yes, it. I will share it. Okay, and you can take it from the mirror or you can directly go and download it, Hadoop, and you can set this environmental variables. Try it, otherwise, I will do it on a Monday. Okay, no problem in this. Okay, and after that you have to set the configuration files in the Hadoop. It is not installation, it is a configuration. Okay, and Hadoop is a distributed file system. Okay, distributed file system is same like Linux. Linux means Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a Linux machine. Okay, it is a OS is Linux. It works like a Linux OS. It is a Linux OS. Okay, it has a file system. No, if you'd have come across in your Linux classes, it has a file system starting from slash where root. Windows file system is also there, that it is giving in a user graphical user interfaces like C drive, D drive, and you can inside go further on, like starting from the desktop. Okay, internally it will be some more else, the root will be something else. Likewise, Linux, the file system. Similarly, Hadoop, Hadoop is a distributed file system. Okay, distributed file system, it has a distributed file system environment where this the whatever I'm saying, that as installation, you are actually going to do a configuration only. You will not go and do an installation. Okay, separate file system you will create it, so that it file system, if you create it, means you will distribute the space for that, right? Some space it will take, so that it will be there. So I will discuss this on a Monday, guys. Okay, now I'm not gone through also, but we'll discuss it on Monday. That is all for now. I'll discuss completely on Monday about the Hadoop and other stuffs. Okay, you try to do the installation today. I will put this one single cluster installation is it is master and slave architecture it follows. Okay, master will be in your machine only, and slave is also like in your machine only. Okay, slave or worker. Whereas same like MySQL we installed in Ubuntu, right? Where I store like a client and server in the same machine. Same like that, it is a single cluster. And the next installation will be like a multi-node cluster. Okay, multi-node means in your VTE you can see three missions, right? uh, Only one mission you might be using it. There are three missions, so one mission we can take it as a cluster, the other two mission we can take it as a slave. Okay, so we will three see all this on Monday. Okay, anything you want to discuss, you can ask. Otherwise, I don't have anything now. I'll stop the session. Okay, you can leave now. Okay, and MySQL second exercise, I will put it. Please do that too. I will check it. Check it. Vaibhav, I will check it and let you know. Okay, thank you all. You can leave.